Hey guys, it's cbgray coming to you guys live with another Destiny video. How are you guys doing today? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about power leveling. In the streams, this has been one of the most requested videos that people have been asking me to make. So I'm going to try to just make one that's super short, concise, and hopefully easy to follow so that it doesn't get confusing because there is a lot going on in the game. And I just want to make sure that this is a very, very quick and easy way to get a basic understanding of how to power level for new players and returning players. So hopefully this does end up being helpful. If it does, then hit the like button. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. We loved every beautiful faces. Thank you for supporting your friendly neighborhood potato. I love you guys, and we're almost at 80K, so I'm seriously just absolutely lost for words. Thank you. So to get started, guys, I know that when you jump into the game after Beyond Light began, everybody was at least at 1050. So if you're alarmed at why in the world you're at 1050, know that Bungie did release in their TWAB, which is the This Week at Bungie, an update before the DLC went live, that everybody was going to be boosted to at least 1050. So if you're wondering how in the world I got to 1050, just to right off the bat kind of unravel how you got to 1050, they boosted everybody up to 1050. Okay. Now that everybody's 1050, what in the world do I do now? First thing, please go enjoy the story. It's really, really cool. If you do have Beyond Light, I just want to make the recommendation. Go enjoy it. You're going to get power levels as you're doing it. So just enjoy the interactive experience. I think it's dope. Once that's over, I know a lot of people are trying to figure out how in the world do I get to 1200 and how do I get to the soft cap? Now, a lot of people are always asking, what in the world does the soft cap mean? So the soft cap basically means that it's the power level that you can get to before you start getting capped, where you're going to need powerful engrams in order to get higher than 1200. So we'll explain how to get powerful engrams in a little while, but first I want to just talk about how you're going to get to 1200. Now, there were a bunch of great cheeses back in the last couple of days that have been patched. So unfortunately, if you're wondering how a lot of people got to 1200 really fast earlier, there were a lot of methods that could get you there quick that have since been patched. But one thing that I think is really good outside of just farming normal activities, because just know that you can get there just by farming activities, whether it's strikes, gambit, crucible, whatever the case may be, you'll be getting blues that'll keep boosting you up closer and closer to 1200. But if you do want to go somewhere where you can quickly do and get a lot of powerful engrams, one thing that you can actually do is if you look at your map, all of these little like tic-tac-toe-ish symbols, if you go to these areas, these are called regional chests, and every single one of these regional chests, you'll actually get an engram that'll continue to boost your power up. These will be helpful all the way up to 1200. So if you collect all of these on Europa, and then also collect all of the ones in the Cosmodrome, I think that's over 20 right there, so 20 plus engrams that you'll have right off the bat. That's not even considering if you haven't collected the regional chests in the other areas, such as the EDZ, Nessus, and the Moon. So, and all of the other places as well. So for returning players that have maybe collected all these other chests, at least picking up the Cosmodrome and Europa are going to be some that you really, really want to do, because it's going to help you get closer to 1200. The more that you have that you haven't picked up, you're actually sitting on engrams that you probably had no idea that you had. So that's going to be the first really, really big important thing. The next thing after that, guys, is going to be, once you're 1200, you're probably going to be like, why can't I get anything over 1200 now? And that's probably going to be really, really frustrating. So the next thing that you're going to want to do, and I'm going to go ahead and time cut this so I can actually show some engrams since I've already earned them all in my Titan. So I'm going to cut real quick and I'm going to show you how to get powerful engrams. All right, we're 1200. What now? How do we get to 1250? So what you're going to be doing firstly is your powerful engrams, which I'm sure people are always like, go do your powerfuls. And for somebody who's new, especially hearing that, what in the world does that mean? So all over the director, one place that you'll notice, especially when you look on the tower, is if you complete 8 bounties for the Vanguard, also for the Crucible, and then also even for the Drifter as well with Gambit, you'll get a powerful tier 1 engram. This will drop a few levels above your light and it can push you above 1200. So that's really, really nice. And then keep in mind, like I said again, powerfuls can drop all the way up to 1250 in terms of your gear. So as you continue going higher and higher and higher, these things can continue to push you up closer and closer to 1250. And then once you get to 1250, powerfuls will no longer be helpful in order to get above 1250 on your gear. So tier 1s drop a few levels above, so what I'd recommend is knock out your tier 1 powerfuls, and then every time you're knocking a tier 1 powerful out, what I would do before you knock out another one is I'd check and see if there's any pieces of gear that are lower than your base power. And so I'll explain this in a very simple example. So let's say you're 1205 and all of your gear is 1205, let's say, or let's say all of your gear is 1206, but let's say that you just have a pair of boots that's very annoying that's only 1201. What you can actually do is go into your season pass. You can claim a pair of boots if you've unlocked them on your season pass that can drop right at your power level. So you could pick up boots that will be 1205 without needing to burn other engrams hoping to get lucky. Now, if you don't have any on your current season pass, one thing that's really cool too is you can go into the Destiny app, and to the right of where it says Pursuits right here, you'll see that it says Pursuits. To the right of that says Seasons on the right of Pursuits. And if you click on the Season button, you can actually go into all of your past season pass from Season of Arrivals, the one from before, and you can claim anything that's unclaimed from your last season too. So what I've been doing, because I accidentally forgot to claim a lot of season pass stuff, is if I'm ever missing something, I'm just claiming it from last season. So you can do that with last season stuff. You can also do it with this season stuff, which is really, really helpful, especially as you're going through. Before I would knock out another powerful, if you're missing something, you're really hoping to get your gear a little bit higher, I would always double check your season pass. So keep that in mind as you're doing powerfuls. That's how people are doing some min-maxing, if you've ever heard anything like that. Turn in a powerful, see if you're missing anything that your season pass can help with, rinse and repeat. That's what people are doing with powerfuls. Now, powerful tier 1s I'd recommend doing before your powerful tier 2s, which is, you take a look, you can see that there's a powerful tier 2 that you can get from completing clan bounties and getting clan experience. So as you're getting clan experience, know that you'll get this powerful tier 2 to drop, which will drop a few, even a couple levels higher than the tier 1s. So very, very nice and helpful stuff. So make sure that you're doing all of these powerfuls. There's another one that's in the glory playlist. So if you're knocking out survival, you can get a powerful from within there as well. And so what I have been doing, it personally at least, is just been going through doing my low powerful tiers first and then scaling up on my powerfuls. Now remember, this can get you all the way up to 1250, and remember that I also said I didn't just immediately burn through every single powerful. I did a powerful, then I tried to fill in some gaps, then I did a powerful, then I tried to fill in some gaps. That's the process for that piece. Now what else can get me a little bit closer to 1250? Now before we talk about pinnacles, let's talk about a couple extra things that can also help. First thing being something known as a prime engram, which you've probably heard before. Prime engrams can drop just from playing the game. They drop super powerful. Notice that that one didn't drop powerful, but that was actually a prime engram from last season that I just forgot to turn in. But as you're doing this, you'll be getting prime engrams to drop. And when those things drop, make sure you go to the tower, go to the cryptarch, go decrypt them, because they will drop powerful, and these will also help you get closer and closer to 1250. So as you're playing the game, you can get prime engrams to drop. Nothing special. They drop from playing. So get in the game, play, and they can drop. What else can you do to get powerful drops? I know a lot of people have been asking, how can I get closer to 1220? How can I get closer to 1230? The playlists that are going to be your best friend, firstly, the survival playlist. Every single sub rank up can get you powerfuls that will drop higher and higher and getting you closer and closer to 1250. I know this is a tough playlist, but I would highly recommend throwing yourself in there to at least get a few sub rank ups. You can also get really good blues as well to drop that will also be filling in the gaps as well. I've gotten to about 4,000 glory. I'm going to try to push up to the last 5,500 piece of that, but know that the more you can bear, at least if you're going in there to do it, the better off you'll be, I promise. Make sure you're going into the survival playlist. It's very important. You can go into the freelance survival playlist if you don't have a fire team, and then you won't match any fire teams. So that's pretty cool. The other thing too that I'd recommend that I've also been doing, guys, is actually Gambit, because every infamy rank up I've also been getting powerfuls. Now I'd recommend doing the survival playlist first because you get them at a much quicker rate, but Gambit main rank ups have been great, and I've been getting some decent blues as well. And one thing also to note is Bungie mentioned that every single time that you're playing activities, you now have a chance for a powerful to drop. So whether you're doing Gambit, whether you're doing strikes, whether you're doing Crucible, know that you even have a chance for a powerful to drop just from straight up grinding the different modes. So I'd recommend grinding Gambit or grinding the survival playlist so that you have a chance for powerful to drop, and you're grinding these rank ups as well. Another thing that you can do is you can go to the gunsmith, pick up the Adored quest, which is the new sniper rifle quest. You can pick up either the strike version of it, the crucible version of it, or the Gambit version of it. When you pick that up, that has a chance of dropping very, very high as well, and that can scale you up. So I'd recommend when you're needing an energy weapon, go to the gunsmith. And when you go to the gunsmith, he can drop you a very, 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 very great piece of gear on your energy weapon slot that I'd highly recommend you hit up. So that's something also to keep in mind. Now, I've talked about all of the things that can help you get up to 1250, but looking ahead into the future, what are going to be some things that can help you get to 1260 for anybody who's watching this in the future? Because know that I'm making this video in week 1, but it's coming in week, but in week, let's say 8 or 9 or 10, people are going to be trying to get to 1260. Some people are already trying to get to 1260 now. So how in the world can I get to 1260? Firstly, know that there's going to be a raid in the game here soon, so the Deepstone Crypt will definitely be a great way of getting your power up when it actually does exist. Now, you can also do pinnacles in the Crucible, Gambit, and Strike Plas as well. There's a pinnacle that you can get for each of these. Make sure you're doing these if you're not max level, and if you're not already like, in the 1250s and you're lower, just make sure you're doing your pinnacles after you do your powerfuls. So if you're asking, what if I'm not 1250, should I be doing my pinnacles? Yes, just save those and do those last for the week. Those are going to boost you up really high. And same deal, when you knock out a pinnacle, make sure after you do it, you're filling in your blanks with the season pass again. Every single time, get into the habit. Do a powerful, then don't jump into the next powerful. See if you can fill any gaps with anything that you already have in the season pass. Then do the next pinnacle. So you're going to want to knock out all your pinnacles. That can get you closer to 1260, and that'll push you higher and higher and higher. So that's going to be very, very important when it comes to knocking out your pinnacles. So make sure you're doing it this week in week 1, even if you're not 1250 already, but just know that these engrams have the potential of getting you to 1260 on your gear. So that's something important to note. Lastly is, in terms of your artifact, I know a lot of people ask, what's the difference between base power and what's artifact power? Like, what does that mean? So if you see here, this white number right here says 1227 gear score. That means that all of my gear right now is averaged to 1227 in terms of the average of all my gear powers. So I have a gear score of 1227 based on everything I have on. So that is going to be an important piece for when doing the raid next Saturday, because the recommended to get to for next Saturday is going to be making sure you get to 1230 base. That means that all of your gear needs to be an average of 1230. So you need to be pushing your power on your gear higher. The artifact is also a cool way of boosting your power, but this is with the artifact, which is experience based. So as you're doing more bounties, and I recommend the Varix bounties, you'll notice that you'll also see that it says next power bonus. So once I get this bonus finished in terms of my experience and max it out, I'll be +8 bonus instead of +7, and my power will raise to 1235 instead of 1234. So this is another great way of raising your power. Just keep in mind that your base is your power level with all of your gear. Your artifact bonus power is your gear plus the artifact bonus that you have that you can get experience on based on bounties and playing different activities in the game. This is really it. There's no other secret for raising your power outside of once you're done. If you really want to put in more effort, you can switch characters, move all of your high power weapons to the next character, and then repeat all of the steps that I just mentioned. But know, if you're just trying to get to 1230 for the raid next week, know that this is my first character. I haven't grinded on any other character, and I'm already 3 away from getting to 1230 with, I'd say, medium effort, because I haven't started my second or third character. A lot of people, have done all their characters. I'm showing you right here that it's possible to get to 1230 on one character. I still have 1500 more glory to get. I have plenty of infamy to get. I still have my 100k. Like I said, guys, you can get to the 1230 in week 1 with one character. So following these steps can definitely help you out, and you won't have to worry about creating 3 characters. I've had a lot of people say, am I going to be able to make it to 1230 if I don't create 3 characters? And my answer to you would be, you don't need 3 characters. But if you want to boost even higher, and if you're wondering how you've seen people in 1250s and 1260s, if you take these weapons, transfer them to the next character, repeat the step, then do that one more time, you could push to 1250 this week. So just keep that in mind, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know in the comments below if it was, and also what power level you are and how the grind's been going so far. What do you think about Beyond Light in week 1, guys? Can't wait for the raid. We got less than a week until it's time. So I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you so much for everything. And with that, I'll talk to you guys in the next Destiny video. Thanks. I love you guys.